Hey guys, welcome back. It's Alex here. Today we are going to be doing a 60-minute power flow that is going to focus on rinsing, shredding, and detoxing, allowing you to feel rejuvenated and refreshed and energized for your day. So let's go ahead and begin. Starting in Sukhasana Easy Seat. So just place your hands onto your knees, close your eyes, and just root down through your sits bones. Reach up a little bit higher through the crown of your head to lengthen your spine. 2 rounds of cleansing breath. Breathe in. Open up, sigh it out. Again, just like that. Breathe in. Open up, let it go. Seal your lips to touch. Soften your eyes, soften your face. Tapping into your Ujjayi breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Allowing the muscles along the back of your throat to be restricted. This allows you to build some heat. It's going to be audible, sound like an ocean's wave, or like you're frogging up a mirror in front of you. Breathe in. Breathe out. So allow this breath to build tapas, to build heat from the inside out. And when you get into a challenging pose, tap back into this breath and allow your breath to be the engine to get through the pose, and just to see what happens when you stay. Focusing back on your breath, back on the moment that you're in. Take a deep breath in. Through your nose, breathe out. One more round. Empty it out. And flutter open your eyes. And then sweep your fingertips high. On your exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. And then from here, interlace your fingers and then press your fingers away from you, lengthening out through your arms. Lengthening out through your forearms, giving your wrists a nice little stretch. And then breathe in, reach your hands above your head, keeping the interlaced grip. Breathe in, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, lean over to the right. See if you can root down through your sits bones. So your arms don't have to fully be straight if you feel pretty tight in your side bodies. Just keep reaching, trying to thread your heart through, and then find a little twist on your exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back up to center, and then just switch out your sides. Again, trying to root down evenly through your sits bones, lengthening through your arms, out through the crown of your head, just feeling a nice side body stretch. Breathe in. Open up. Inhale. Empty out your breath and then unwind. And then press your hands away from you once again. And then bring your hands to heart center. Take a cleansing breath in. Open up, sigh it out. Bring your hands back to your knees and then lift your shoulders up towards your ears, really crunch in. And then your exhale, really release your shoulders down away from your ears. Do that 2 more times. Breathe in, reach them up. And then exhale, just draw them down. 1 more time, breathe in. And then relax, let it all go. And then bring your left hand to your right knee, coming into a seated twist. So root down, breathe in, lengthen through your spine. And then on your exhale, twist open, take your gaze out past your right shoulder. Keep lengthening through your spine. And twisting a little bit more with every exhale. And then unwind, come back to center and just switch it out. You can come up onto your fingertips on your left hand, just to give you some more space and to get the earth a little bit closer. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale. And then go ahead and unwind. Now coming into a tabletop. So stack your shoulders over your wrist, your hips over your knees. You feel free to untuck your toes and spread the webbing between your fingers nice and wide. Take a breath in. Neutralize through your spine. Exhale. Coming into your cat-cows. So on your next breath in, drop your belly down, lift your sits bones high, roll your shoulders away from your ears. So see if you can create more distance, more space from your ears or your jaw to your shoulder. And then on your exhale, round your spine. So it's like you're drawing your belly button back towards your spine and then pressing your spine and your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, cow pose. Exhale for your cat. So be really slow and subtle in these movements. And then as your breath builds, allow the poses to build and get a little bit more dramatic. Find some creativity in the way that you move. Using your breath to guide you. And send your hips in big circles. Get out all those snaps, crackles, and pops like my knees just did. So give yourself permission to move and breathe, to shut out the world, and just be right here in the four corners of your mat. And then settle in, coming back to your normal tabletop. And then from here, tuck your toes under. Beast pose, you're gonna press down through your palms. Lift your knees off of your mat just so they come to a hover. And then press your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, just like you were in cat. And then see my knees kind of lifted up a little bit too much, because it's hard. So lower your knees down just to a hover. Yeah, feel your core and your arms, everything starts to fire up. Use your Ujjayi breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Inhale. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Salsa out your legs. Paw your feet down onto your mat. You can roll up onto your toes, get out all those cracks and pops. So feel free to dance it out for a couple breaths. And then settle in, find some stillness. So in your downward facing dog, spread the webbing between your fingers nice and wide. And then press into the triad of your hand. So it's gonna be your first two fingers and your thumb. So press more weight into that space to release weight out of your forearms. And then drop your head, gaze towards your belly button or towards the top of your thighs. Think about lengthening through both of your side bodies. Lengthening through your entire spine. And then draw your hips towards the back of your mat. And if your heels are lifted up, that's totally fine. Just keep thinking about drawing energy down through your heels closer towards your mat. And if you feel like you have a rounding in your spine, then soften through your knees and then really try to straighten and lengthen out your spine. So find your pose right here, whatever it may look like. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale to rise high onto your toes. And take teeny tiny little steps all the way to the top of your mat. No rush, take your time. And then settle in. Bring your feet hip width distance apart, coming into your hanging ragdoll. So soften through your knees. Grab opposite elbows. Sway side to side. And today we're going to be focusing a lot on just really finding celebration in small wins. Small little victories that lead up to bigger things that make a big difference on your mat or off your mat. And just know that those tiny little things that you might just look past are actually super important for growth. And again, whether that's on your mat or outside, out into the world. Remember, those tiny little muscles need to build over time to be able to make the big muscles get stronger. And then you'll be able to stick that pose one day. So it sounds cheesy, but it's really true. It's really important to focus on your journey there rather than just thinking about the goal that you have in mind. Goals aren't bad, but just celebrate the little victories along the way rather than just celebrating when the big thing happens. Drop your head, shake it yes, shake it no. Soften through your knees even more. Release your hands from your elbows. And now from here, take an interlace grip behind your back. See if you can get your palms to touch, or at least get them as close together as you can. And then really bend through your knees so you get belly to thigh connection. And then drag your knuckles towards the top of your mat and drop your head. You can find some movement that feels good. Maybe drop your shoulder to the same side of the knee. Switch it out. This can feel pretty intense, so keep using your breath. Ease up if you need to. And then put a deep bend into your elbows to release. Bow everything forward. And then toe heel your feet all the way to touch. Breathe in and slowly press down and rise all the way up to stand. Allow your head to be the last thing that lifts. Roll your shoulders down your back away from your ears. Breathe and reach your hands up high. Length through your entire body. And then soften through your knees. Bow everything forward. Breathe in, find a halfway lift. So place your hands onto your shins and think about pressing and finding resistance. And that'll draw the crown of your head forward. Take your gaze down towards the top of your mat. Scoop up through your lower belly. And elongate through your spine. If that feels like a little bit too much, you can always crawl your hands up your shins or even place on top of your thighs. Again, soften through your knees. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Root down, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Length through your entire body. And then on your exhale, bow everything forward. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Same thing, root down, rise up. So it's like you have roots growing down through your feet, and you're reaching up as high as you possibly can, and then on your exhale, glide your body down. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Same thing, root down, rise up. Exhale, bow everything forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and this time plant your hands down. Step back to your high plank. So here you're stacking your shoulders over your wrist, your heels over your toes. You might need to slightly shift your body forward, scoop up through your lower belly. So really think about zippering up your core. Instead of dipping down too low, you want to find activation here, because if you are dipping your hips down too low and you constantly do this, then you're going to really injure through your lower back. So think about engaging your core. And not lifting your hips up too high and not too low. Try to find that sweet spot. Hug your outer hips in. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. Activate your glutes. Turn on the backs of your legs. And it's like you're pressing your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. So when you think about plank, like when you were in gym class back in the day, I feel like it was always kind of like dipping your chest down like this. And you really think of protracting and pressing it up. So kind of opposite than what you might have been taught back in the day. All right, breathe and shift your body forward. Exhale, shift it back. Whew. Breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Breathe in, come forward. Option to come down onto your knees. Hug your elbows in as you lower all the way down. Slither your body out. Untuck your toes, setting up for your cobra pose. Breathe in, lift your heart off of your mat, but don't crank your neck up. See if you can take your gaze right up past the tip of your nose towards the top of your mat. Draw your elbows back and in towards each other. So think about squeezing your shoulder blades towards one another. Feel the strength of your lower back. Press the tops of your feet down. Exhale, lower. Again, breathe in, cobra. Exhale, lower. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, lower. And then this time, bring your hands to the outside edges of your mat. Rise high up onto your fingertips. Fierce cobra, breathe in, lift up even higher this time. It's a nice, juicy stretch. Find a little bit of movement. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. And then lower it all the way down. Plant your hands down, tuck your toes under. On your next breath in, use your core strength. Press up, high plank. Downward facing dog is your exhale. You can find a little bit of movement for a breath. And then settle in. Breathe in, roll your body forward, come back to your high plank. Shift your body forward 1 inch. Send it back. Breathe in, come forward. Exhale, shift back. This time, as you come forward, hug your elbows in next to your ribs. Slowly lower halfway down for your chaturanga hold. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Lift your thighs rather than your thighs being down. So protect your lower back. Press into the tops of your feet. Micro bend in your elbows. Lift your chest up. And then on your exhale, core strength, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk it out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, rise high up onto your toes. Gaze forward, just step to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root down, rise up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back, high plank, chaturanga, low. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Rise high into your toes. Gaze forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Root down, rise up. Exhale as you bow. Breathe in, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step or shoot back, landing your chaturanga. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rise high onto your toes, gaze forward. Ride that breath all the way to the top for your halfway lift, and then bow forward. Root down, rise up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step or shoot it back. See if you can land low. Go through your vinyasa, go through your flow. Meet in downward facing dog. Take a cleansing breath in. Cleansing breath out. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Rise high onto your toes. Gaze forward. Step or float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time, sit low, Utkatasana chair pose. So sit your hips low and think about pressing energy down through your heels. Get lighter in your toes with your fingertips high. Sink your hips lower. Hug your outer hips in, and then think about tucking your tailbone under, pulling up more through your pelvic floor, and then drawing your shoulders down your back so create more of that space here like we said earlier. Find your breath. Think about knitting your front ribs together. Instead of splaying open, think about hugging in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fill up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, step or shoot back. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Adho Mukha, downward facing. From here, lift your right leg high. I'm going to hit my little plank here. Three-legged dog. Shine your toes down. See if you can get your hips nice and even. So you might need to drop your right hip down to meet your left rather than it splaying out. If you gaze back, you can see your toes. Activate through your leg. We won't be here very much longer. Take a breath in. Cheetah pose. Hug your knee towards your nose and allow that just to be the transition to step down. Plant your right foot down. Spiral your back foot all the way down. Warrior one. Find a good foundation before you rise up. Drawing your right hip slightly back, your left hip slightly forward, and then bend deep into your right leg. Reach your fingertips high. Press down through your feet. Lengthen through your spine. And again, without trying to splay open, think about hugging everything in, and you'll feel that activate through your back leg a lot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Easy twist. Plant your left palm down. Your right fingertip goes high, and then you restack your back heel over your toes. And think about energetically squeezing your inner thighs towards one another. So if your left hip might dip down, see if you can plug it back up to meet your right. And then reach your right fingertips towards the ceiling. Breathe in. On your exhale, frame your right foot. Step it back, high to low plank. Go through your vinyasa, option to add on, option to modify, whatever it may be. Lift your left leg high. Dial your toes down. Drop your left hip to meet your right. Activation through your leg. Breathe in. Cheetah pose, hug your knee towards your nose, and then step it through, warrior one. Spiral your back foot down. Press down, inhale to rise up high. Good, so you're pressing really hard into the blade edge side of your right foot, and think about trying to draw your hips forward so you won't fully be square like you would be if you were in crescent. You're just trending your hips in that direction and just trying to get more squareness. And then stack your left knee over your left ankle, trying to tuck your tailbone under. Activate more through your lower belly. Breathe in. And stay for your exhale. One more round, fill up. Easy twist. Right palm down. Restack your back heel over your toes. Left fingertips, reach them high. Activation through your fingertips. Get your fingertips excited to find more length. And then again, if you feel your hips dropping down, see if you can plug it back up. Find that squareness. And then frame your left foot. With control, step it back. Chaturanga. Go through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Empty it out. Rise high onto your toes. Gaze forward, step or float to the top. Halfway lift. Bow. Chair pose, sink low. Maybe you can send your hips just a little bit lower this time. Breathe in. Bow forward. Halfway lift to set yourself up. Plant your hands, chaturanga, send it on back. A corner that's very, very close to my face, I just realized. Together we'll meet in downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high. Three-legged dog. Draw your knee towards your nose, step it through, warrior one. Spiral your back foot down, breathe in. Your exhale is easy twist and moving a little bit quicker. Reach your fingertips high. Now using your core strength, use your arms to windmill yourself open, spiral your back foot down, landing into your warrior two. Tickle in my throat. Sink low, and then press your hands away from each other, like you're being pulled in both directions. And again, keep thinking about dialing your tailbone under, pull up more through your pelvic floor, draw your belly button towards your spine, sink low, activate your arms. Turn your biceps and your triceps on, rather than your arms just being in space, really turn them on, find more purpose. One of those things with those tiny little wins make a big difference. So maybe you realize in a month, you're like, wow, my arms don't hurt as much like they used to when I would hold warrior two. That's a win. So really celebrate those little victories. They really aren't so little. Then from here, star pose. Parallel your feet. Reach up high, changing to the back of your mat for your warrior two. So same thing, just changing your perspective. Sink low. Flip your right palm. Tip it back, peaceful warrior. Make sure you keep bending deep into your left leg. Feel that nice side body stretch. Extended side angle, the bottom half of your body stays nice and strong. Reach your right arm up and over. You can use your forearm on top of your left thigh. Breathe in. Breathe out. This flow doesn't actually require any props or blocks or anything like that, but you can always use them. I always encourage that. So if you have something, you can always plant it down here to bring the earth just a little bit closer to you. Now, as you unwind from your easy twist, or your extended side angle, come into your easy twist. So right palm down, left fingertips high again, restacking, hugging your inner thighs towards one another. Skandasana, crawl your fingertips towards the front of your mat. Your toes fan out, your heel in. Bend deep into your left leg. Your left toes go up towards the ceiling. Use your glutes and your thighs to keep you lifted. You can use your fingertips to keep your chest lifted, or you can bring your hands to heart center. So really lengthening through your inner thighs here. You want to make sure that your left foot is flexed. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then now you're going to frame your right leg, or your right foot. So turn your body, find that squareness first. And then plant your hands down. Send your foot back. Go into your vinyasa. Find your flow. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high. Draw your knee towards your nose. Step it through. Warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, easy twist. Open up through your heart. Warrior one. Still at the top of your mat. So readjust your feet as you need. And your left heel is in alignment with the arch of your right foot. So readjust your footing and then find that sweet spot. Stick it right here. Reach your fingertips up and away from each other. Turning your arms on. And if you feel like you're reaching forward too much, activate through your right fingertips to draw them back, and then it'll restack your shoulders over your hips. Bend deep. Take your gaze out past the middle finger of your left hand. Sink a little bit lower. Star pose, parallel your feet. Reach up high. Warrior two to the back of your mat. If your feet lost their place, find it and then settle in. Sink low. Flip your right palm, tip it back. Peaceful warrior, bending deep into your right leg. Extended side angle, glide forward. Again, the bottom half of your body stays nice and strong. Flank your left arm over your left ear. Your palms facing down. And then really activate through your back leg. Allow this to be the engine here. And then sink a little bit lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. See if you can rotate your heart open. Draw your shoulder blades towards one another. Easy twist. Left palm down. Right fingertips high. Ooh, feel those hips nice and strong. Breathe in. Skandasana, crawl towards the top of your mat. Bend deep into your left leg. Right toes fan up towards the ceiling. Again, you can plant your hands down using your fingertips, or bring your hands to heart center. Sinking low, feeling your hips open up. Draw your shoulders back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to frame your left foot and your left thigh. Nice and slow to help avoid any injury through your knees. And then once you're here, plant your hands down. Send your left foot back. High to low plank. Hug your elbows in next to your ribs as you lower. Downward facing dog, use your core. Take a big cleansing breath in. Open it up, sigh it all out. One more time, breathe in. Empty it out. Rise high onto your toes. Gaze forward, step or float. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sink low into your chair. Just one breath here. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, send it on back. You always have the option to step back to your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high. Cheetah pose, knee to nose, hug it in, warrior one. Breathe in to rise up. Easy twist as you lower. Use your core strength, spiral open, warrior two. Star pose, reach your fingertips high. Warrior two to the back of your mat. So you can see we're moving a little bit quicker, linking your breath with movement. Flip your left palm, tip it back, peaceful warrior. Extended side angle. Now this time, maybe you want to find a little bit more depth. So you can bring your right arm around to find a half, maybe a full bind. So just listen to your body. Where is it at today? What does it want? What is it craving? And wherever you are, roll your right shoulder back towards your spine more. And keep that nice bend in your left leg. It's easy to kind of let your legs start to straighten a little bit. See if you can keep that bend. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then unwind for your easy twist towards the back. Reach your left fingertips high. Crawl Skandasana towards the top of your mat. Sink low. Just here for a full round of breath in. And then a full round of breath out. Frame your right foot. Square up. Plant your hands. With control, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Lift your heart. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Lift your left leg. Draw your knee towards your nose, step it through, warrior one. Root down, rise up. Easy twist, right palm down, left fingertips high. Core strength. Windmill open, warrior two. Star pose, reach up. Warrior two to the back. Flip your right palm, tip it back. Peaceful warrior, extended side angle. Reach your arm up and over. And then find that same exact variation that you did on the other side. Whether it was at half or full bind, or if you didn't take a variation, and you didn't deepen through the pose, then deepen through your breath. That's a win right there. Focus on your breath. Create that ujjayi breath, building more heat. Roll your left shoulder back. Inhale. On your exhale, unwind for your easy twist. Restack your back heel over your toes. Help your knee not get injured. And then skandasana towards the top of your mat. Bend deep into your left leg. Lengthen through your right. Find your variation, land here, breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Frame your left foot, nice and slow. Use your core strength to get you there. Plant your hands, step it back, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Together, inhale. Exhale. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Draw your knee towards your right elbow, so shift your body forward, tap, and then send it back, three-legged. Knee towards your nose, cheetah pose, hug in, send it back, three-legged. This time, bring your right knee, cross your body, tap your left elbow, thread it through, fall in triangle. So you're gonna straighten out your legs so that it lifts your hips and open up through your heart. Taking your gaze up, releasing any tension in your neck. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Inhale, press the earth away. And then frame your hands down. Bring your right leg high, come back to your three-legged dog. Bend your knee. Stack your hips open. Press evenly through both of your hands. Square your chest. Now allow your foot to get heavy. Flip your dog. Bring your feet about hip-width distance apart, and then parallel them, and then shine your toes towards the back of your mat. Open up your heart. Reach for the front of your mat. Find your breath. Draw your chest through, lift your hips up high, hug in, and then flip it back around. Three-legged dog. And then plant your foot down. Breathe in, roll forward, come into a high plank. Place your left hand down in the center of your mat, Vashisthasana side plank. So from here, stack your right foot over your left. And you want to make sure that you have your shoulders stacked over your wrists as much as you can. You might need to slowly shift. And then the goal would be to root down through your bottom foot. Find a variation that feels good. Maybe you want a tree variation. Just keep pressing your hips up high, using your side body strength here. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then wherever you are, plant your right hand down. Come back to your high plank. And then just send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog, and just really let that go. Completely let that side go. Yet celebrating everything we've done so far, but then being right here on your mat. All right, lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Draw your left knee towards your left elbow, shift forward, core strength, send it back, three-legged. Draw your knee towards your nose, maybe give your knee a kiss, send it back. Left knee across your body, tap your right elbow, thread it through, fall in triangle. So open up through your heart, through your hips, press down to open up more. Find more expansion, using your breath. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind. Plant your right hand down. Three-legged dog, lift your left leg high. Bend your knee. Stack your hips open. Draw more energy down through your right heel. And then hug your left heel closer towards your body and your knee up maybe 1 more inch towards the ceiling. Allow your foot to get heavy, flip your dog. Re-parallel your feet, shine your toes towards the back of your mat. Inhale, open up. And then maybe you find a full wheel, maybe not. Find your fullest expression. Find your win, breathe in. And then flip it back. 3-legged dog. Place your left foot down. Breathe in to roll your body forward to your high plank. This time, place your right hand in the center of your mat, Vashisthasana, and then see if you can root down through your bottom foot. You can bend through your knees, that's fine. Restack your shoulder over your wrist, and then land here. And then find the same variation you did on the other side, and keep pressing down through your mat to lift your hips up more. Breathe in, breathe out. And then place your left hand down, step it back, coming into your high plank, and then downward facing dog. Take your knees out wide, child's pose, towel off, grab some water, I know I do. Woo! And then together, let's just take a deep cleansing breath in. Open up. Let that all go. All right, you guys are doing awesome. Okay, plant your hands down. Come back to your downward facing dog. Inhale to rise high up onto your toes. Gaze forward, Hatha Malasana, yogi squat. So your toes fan out. Your heels come in. Sink your hips low. And if you have a block or maybe a box or something that you can sit on, if that feels better for you, then you can do that, and that'll help keep your chest lifted. It won't be so intense through your inner thighs or through your hips, because you don't want your knees to splay in. You want to roll them back, so you're pressing your thighs towards the back of your mat. And if you can, I like to use my elbows as resistance to help open up through my hips. You can bring your hands to heart center. You can find a little movement side to side. Elongate through your spine, out through the crown of your head. Breathe in. Breathe out. Plant your left hand down. Twist open to the right. Keep your legs and your glutes nice and strong. Keep your hips a little bit lifted. Open up. Find that nice, beautiful twist. And then unwind. Come back to center. Readjust. And then switch out your sides. Right palm down. Left fingertips high. Opening up your heart. And then with every exhale, you're revolving open more to roll your heart open towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Breathe out as you unwind. Come back. And now I'm going to demo something for you really quick. You guys can just fold forward. You can come down onto your knees. We're going to be coming into some chair twists. And then I'm going to show you side crow. So nothing to worry about. It's all good if this is a little bit too advanced, but I'm just going to give you some of the tools that you need to build up to this. So just one example of building your practice and the little muscles over time and your mindset over time that you eventually can get to something that may be a goal, but allow the journey leading up to it. So you can just drop frustration and just celebrate that you have the ability to even try to do this pose. Like honestly, that's such a blessing, right? Okay. I'll stop talking now. Okay. So we're gonna be in chair pose, and then we're gonna come into a twist. So I'll show you just from this twist. Press your palms together to open up your heart. And then from here, so we're going into side crow. I think I said that, yeah, okay. So you're gonna sink your hips down towards your heels. Showing you all the angles here. All right, so drop your hips down towards your heels. And then you're gonna plant your hands down. Some people do it different ways. You can face your fingers the same way that your toes are facing, or you can do it opposite. So for me, I feel like one side is different of what I like to do. There's no wrong or right, just listen to what feels better in your body. So yeah, on this side, this one feels better for me. So here I'm spreading the webbing between my fingers really, really wide. So you get a nice firm foundation. And then here, I'm gonna shift my body forward so that I feel the connection from my elbow to my right hip. And then I'm gonna keep thinking chaturanga in my arms and hugging into center line. And then I'm gonna take my gaze out. So I'm gonna shift my body forward and allow my arms to be a shelf. So once I feel that connection from my left elbow to my knee, to my right elbow to my hip, I now have a firm foundation so I can stack bone over bone, shift forward, hover my heart, and then take my gaze out. You can straighten out your legs, whatever you want, but really you're stacking bone over bone here, and just keep using your breath. Good, and then we'll just come right out of it, and you'll come forward and just let it all go. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, cool? Cool, all right. So everyone, come to the top of your mat. Just bow over your legs. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sink low, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sweep your fingertips high. Sink your hips low. Breathe in. On your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Fill up your lungs. And then on your exhale, hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. And then see if you can keep your toes, your ankles, your knees in alignment. A lot of times when we're twisting, it's easy to kind of let them slide apart. But just consciously think about that and just hug in. Roll your right shoulder back. Try to stack shoulder over shoulder. Hug your shoulder blades towards one another. And then sink your hips low. Plant your hands down next to you, whatever way you want to do it. Plant your hands down. Find that connection. And then once you do, see if you can shift forward. Gaze out. And then maybe you straighten your legs, maybe not. Give yourself some grace. Plant your hands down. And just bow forward. And just let that go. Whether it happened, whether it didn't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be so serious. Bow over your legs. Bring your feet hip-width distance apart. Take your peace fingers. Wrap them around your big toes. Padahastasana. I lied to you. Padagustasana. And then bend through your knees. Bow forward. So you just have a softening through your knees. If you want to straighten them, if you want more flexibility, or you have the flexibility to be able to go deeper into your hamstrings, you can straighten your legs. But softening through your knees is also really, really good. Try to get belly to thigh connection. That helps you lengthen through your spine more than rounding in, which I tend to do. So I have to keep consciously thinking about lengthening my spine and then hinging at my hips more. And find a little movement. And then come back to center. Pull up onto your toes just to find a halfway lift. And then bend deep into your elbows to flow deeper. Release your toes. Walk your feet all the way back to touch. Breathe in, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sink low into your chair pose, just going to the other side. Take a cleansing breath in. And bring your hands to heart center. Fill up. Hook your right elbow outside of your left knee. On your exhale, really press your palms to touch. And then restack shoulder over shoulder. See if you can keep your hips a little bit lower. And now coming into your side crow. Plant your hands down. Spread the webbing between your fingers nice and wide. Find that connection. Again, think chaturanga in your arms. Once you find that connection, shift forward. Hug into center line. And then take your gaze out. Hover your heart. Good, use your breath. Breathe in. And breathe out. Unwind. And then just fold over your legs. Sauce your legs out, just let it go. Bring your feet hip-width distance apart. Now coming into Padahastasana, slide your palms underneath your feet. If that's not accessible, then just reach in that direction or maybe grab 2 books. Drop your head. Shake it yes, shake it no. Find that movement if that feels good. See if you can bend deep. Find that belly to thigh connection. Fold forward. Keep your hands where they are. See if you can find a halfway lift. Then exhale, fold. Release. Walk your feet all the way to touch. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Sink low into your chair pose. And then bring your hands to heart center. Fill up your lungs. Come back to your twist. You know where you are. You've been here before. And now from here, get a nice firm foundation. And then gaze down, look at your right foot. And then lift your left foot up and step it behind you. See if you can keep your twist landing into a twisted crescent. Energetically squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. Turn your back leg on. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly unwind with control. Coming into a high crescent lunge. So here, unlike warrior one, your back foot is going to be lifted up. So your heel stacks over your toe rather than it being down. Your chest and your hips are square. Reach your fingertips high. Bend deep into your right leg. And if you feel like you're splaying out, soften your back leg and zipper up through your core. And then settle in. You'll feel that difference. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shift your body forward. Just find a nice lean here. Now lift up for your eagle wrap. Wrap your left leg around your right. Your left arm goes underneath. Then act like you have a chair up behind you that you're pressing into. Tuck your tailbone under. And then whatever's touching, really press in. Find something in your home that you can gaze at. Lock in something that's not moving. Roots are growing down through your right foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. With control, unwind. Come to your warrior three airplane pose. So send your fingertips towards the back of your mat. Dial your left hip down. Activate through your back foot. Up dog through your chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften through your right knee. Good. Then as you unwind, bring your feet to touch at the top of your mat. Sweep your arms up high. Sink your hips low. Come back to your chair pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Fill up. And then find your twist. You guys are rock stars at this now. Open up. Crack your heart open. Now gaze down. Look at your left foot. Find that stability. See if you can keep your hands where they are to keep that twist. Gaze down. Lift your right foot. See if you can step it behind you, landing into your crescent twist. Use the resistance. Open your heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. Unwind, come into your high crescent lunge. Readjust your feet as you need. And you can always walk your front foot over to the edge of your mat if you need to create some space in your hips. Again, you can soften your back leg. Zipper up through your belly. Reach your fingertips high. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lean forward. Eagle wrap. Right leg goes around your left. Right arm goes underneath. Find that pressure, that resistance. Hug everything in. Lift your fingertips high. Tug your tailbone under. Press your spine against that imaginary chair. Lift your elbows in alignment with your shoulders. If that feels like too much, you can always wrap around. Unwind. Warrior three, airplane pose. Send your fingertips towards the back of your mat. See if you can dial your right hip to meet your left. Soften through your left knee. Dial your right pinky toe down. More space between your ears and your shoulders. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring your feet to touch the top of your mat. Sauce out your legs, let that all go. Reach your hands up high. Exhale, bow forward. And then from here, lower all the way down onto your seat. Lower all the way down onto your back. Ha! We made it onto our backs. Whew. All right. Bring your feet hip width distance apart. Coming into our back bends. So here, you're going to choose what you want to do as far as your back bends. I will cue the first one to be bridge, and then the second one will be wheel. So listen to your body, know what's in your practice, celebrate exactly where you are, not feeling like you need to be doing wheels. If that's not your practice right now, let that go. Be on your mat, do what you can do, and celebrate that. Bring your feet hip width distance apart. Hands come next to your hips. Realign your neck with your spine. Breathe in. Press down to lift up. Good, so just imagine that you're squeezing something between your inner thighs. So hug in to center line and then lift your hips up more. So to create more space, snuggle your shoulders a little bit closer together. You can take an interlaced grip behind your back. And then keep some space from your chin to your chest. And open up your heart towards the back of your mat. See if you can use muscles other than your glutes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower it all down. Nice and slow. Release the interlace grip. Now you have one more back bend. Choose what you want. What do you need for today? That might be different than what you wanted or needed yesterday. It will be different maybe than tomorrow. So what does your body need right now? Set yourself up. If you're going for wheel, plant your hands next to your ears. I like to bring my heels a little bit closer towards my hips. Get that foundation. And then without thinking, on your next inhale, press down, lift up. Open up your heart, open up through your hips. Your hips are like headlights up towards the ceiling. And then see if you can straighten through your arms and your legs a little bit more. Keep squeezing into center line to lift you up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the bottoms of your feet to touch. Allow your knees just to fall like magnets towards the earth. Bring your hands somewhere comfortable on your body to feel that connection, to feel your heartbeat. It starts to slow down. Your breath starts to slow down with your heart. Feel some grounding. Celebrating everything that you've done so far. All the hard work that you've put in. And then take your hands to your knees, close them like you're closing a book. And then hug your knees into your chest. Full wind relieving pose. You can find a little movement side to side. Grab the blade edge side of your feet. Happy baby. Use that resistance to try to draw your heels a little bit closer down towards your mat. If movement feels good, sway side to side. Feel that in your inner thighs, your hip flexors. As you sway, use your breath. Sway back to center. See if you can get your entire tailbone to root down. So from your tailbone all the way up through your spine, through your neck, through the back of your head. See if everything can root down. Hug your knees back into your chest. This time curl into a tiny little ball. And then plant your feet down. Coming into a figure 4 on your back. Bring your right ankle over top of your left thigh. If this is enough, stay here. Or if you want a little bit more, you can reach behind your left thigh. Maybe grab your shin. Bring your knee a little bit closer. Make sure that both of your feet stay flexed. Avoid any injury through your knee. Keep your spine and your neck nice and long. Unwind, plant your foot down. Switch out your sides. Do the same exact thing that you did on the other side. Whatever variation that you took. Flexing your feet. One side will probably feel different than the other side. It's totally normal. See if you can breathe into it the same. Celebrate each side. And then plant your foot down. Unwind. Lift your feet. Press them up towards the ceiling. Allowing this to be your inversion today. Your waterfall. If you want a block underneath your sacrum, you can go for it. Maybe a pillow, maybe a book or a little box. Or you can just be right here. Allowing the blood to flow back towards your heart. This is really great for inflammation. Helps tap into your parasympathetic nervous system, which calms you down. And allow this to rejuvenate your body, relax your body, restore your body. To celebrate your body. And then plant your feet down. Send all of your limbs out long. Flop your feet out to the corners of your mat. Face your palms up towards the sky. Take a cleansing breath in. Open up. Relax every single muscle in your body and arrive into your Shavasana.
End goals aren't the only ones that matter. You deserve to celebrate all the small victories along the way. That's the work that matters. The repeated unseen battles you fight and the tiny things you do every day to get closer to where you want to be. Not being at the end doesn't discount how impressive or important those achievements are. It doesn't matter if you still struggle. It doesn't matter if you still have a long way to go and a lot to learn. It doesn't matter if it's taking you a long time, maybe even longer than others to get there. Even if you've relapsed or you've backtracked. Progress is progress, and every step you take, no matter how small, makes a difference. Even if you're not yet where you want to be, you deserve to be proud of yourself for how far that you've come. You deserve to acknowledge the strength and the resiliency and drive it's taken to get here. You're doing your best. And you can make small changes at your own pace, and that's worth something. No matter where you're at in your process or how far from your end goals that you are still worth something.